Hey, what's up, Dean? Sear Performance. We're back down working on the van today. I got it up on the lift finally. It takes a while. The pump is like struggle street for getting the van up in the air with the motor in it. Without the motor, it goes up pretty good. But you can see the motor's in it. It did not bolt up kind of how I thought it would. This mount here worked out perfect. This is off of the Duramax. This is the frame mount in the van. And that set the motor where it needed to be. But this one was wider. When I bolted the motor mount to the motor, it set way out here for some reason. It was really weird. And it was... the motor mount was too far back and the frame mount was too far forward. So I took and I cut the frame mount. Let's see if we can see it. That piece that bolts to the frame, I cut all of the bracket off of it, like the holds the bucket for the motor mount. I cut all that off and then cut the motor mount in half, kind of cut the flanges off both sides, and then set everything in there and kind of mocked it in, and saw that this was about an inch too long on this side of the motor mount. So I cut the inch off, set it all in there, bolted it together, tack welded it, took it out, fully welded it up, bolted everything back in, and it's nice and centered where it should be. Then I got the transmission in, which I already knew that the cross member for the 4L80, you can see the hump is here. So it puts the mount way back here. Because on a 4L80, it's on the tail housing. So it's further back. I think it's like 6 inches further back. So I mean, this is on the tail housing too, but you see how short that one is, and it's all the way, the mount is actually all the way to the end. Whereas this tail shaft, tail housing, whatever you want to call it, is really long, and the mount is up against the transmission case almost. It's just off the back of the case. So I cut a piece of flat stock, measured it, drilled the hole, bolted it to the transmission, dropped the transmission down to where it, like if this mount was back here, it would be sitting on top of the cross member, and then welded that piece all the way across. Then I made 2 gussets to support it, welded it all in, and it's good. And then I grabbed the drive shaft, and it's already got the 4L60 yoke on it on this end here, and then that end there I got to do the same U-joint that we did like on Chris's truck, because this is like a 14 bolt corporate, I think is what they call it, like a floating axle. I don't really know what they call these, but they're like the big GM where the axle actually bolts from out here, 8 lug. It's got a big old honking center section in it, because this is a 3500 series van. So that has a 1350 and that is a 1330. So we'll get another one of these Moog 448 U-joints, and this one will just be backwards from what Chris's was. The 1330 will go in here, and the 1350 will go into the yoke on the rear end. I just put that in there so it stops leaking because I made another mess. But I got all that done. And that's pretty much it for today. The motor's sitting in the chow. I dropped a dipstick in, but it's like a truck dipstick for the transmission, so it doesn't quite come out from under the doghouse. So I'm not sure if I'm just kind of going to leave that one in there. I have to see when I bring it down how bad it really is to get to. I know on the other van it wasn't too bad to get to. So we're gonna let it down and take a look inside. You kind of heard the pump kind of go out right there. So not go out, but it struggles. So you can kind of see, and there's actually a ton of room behind the motor to work on in these vans, which is cool. So I gotta put the intake on it, all the front accessories, blah blah blah. So I mean, there it sits. I got the AC compressor on and all bolted up, and the lines will work good. They like come straight up the frame rail. This line here from the van actually should bolt right onto the pump. Shouldn't be an issue. And then I have to find another line because the condenser broke. When I tried to get this nut out, the condenser actually broke. It snapped the block right out of the condenser. So I'll have to grab a different condenser and see what I could do about this one here, and then grab a different line to go from the compressor to the condenser. The AC be all set. Then I gotta grab the other accessories with the van power steering pump. Has like a remote reservoir, so the tube comes down and into the pump. I'll probably have to make that tube a little bit longer. You can already see that now because the alternator sits, up here. But yeah, I mean, it's in there sitting good, right where it's supposed to be. And motorcycles go blasting by. That's always cool. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of just a quick update. I wasn't going to do too much, but it's something completely different, not exciting, putting a gas motor in a van. I did actually end up lost right now. No, because this was out of the Escalade, I had Brian Tooley double springs with all the locks, retainers, and seats, and like the Viton seals. I think is what they call them, the Viton seals, like the blue and the brown ones for the intake and exhaust valves. So I did end up, I pulled the heads all the way off, took all the studs out. It was studded too, because that was a turbo motor before. So I put all brand new head bolts, head gaskets, stock valve springs back in it. I took my rocker arms that had the trunnion upgrades. I took those off, put like a regular stock set of rocker arms in it. And I also took the cam out of it, which is comp grind. The intake duration is 226. The lift was 605. Exhaust duration is 240. Lift is 588, and it's got 115 plus 5 LSA, lobe separation angle, which according to Tick is kind of like an old school stage 1 turbo cam that they used to have comp grind for them, but they don't have comp grinder cams anymore. So I did end up taking that cam out, and we're gonna reuse it on a different project. And I put like a LQ9 6.0 cam in it, which if you ever kind of get a minute, look it up online, and you'll see that the difference between a 5.3 and a 6.0 cam, it actually helps it out quite a bit. I think the average is like 30-40 horsepower, something like that. I mean, even 20, who cares? But this is a work van, so he's just driving it every day to be a work van, so he's not looking to be, you know, race car life or nothing. So I'm hoping tomorrow that I'll have all the accessories on, exhaust manifolds on. I got to get the U-joint and AC belt, which I'll probably do today on the way home. And then so tomorrow, yeah, hopefully get everything all on it. Get the drive shaft in it and start kind of figuring out how I'm gonna get an exhaust on this without, you know, getting carried away and doing a full all the way out exhaust. I may just run like duals and kind of dump them out the sides, or just turn them down. I don't really know. But then my goal is, once all the power steering, the AC, no, not AC, but like the power steering hoses are hooked up, all the accessories minus AC. Cause I got to figure out that hose. But my goal is to take the wiring and start figuring out the pinouts. So this junction block here won't go into the bottom of like a regular truck junction block, which I think is what I want to use. I'm kind of back and forth with that, of either using the van fuse box, and this way when I do the Escalade I can use this style fuse box, which comes out of like all the Yukons, Escalades and stuff like that. And if you ever look over here, it has like a bus block here that there's a lid here somewhere. Well, if you ever look inside the fuse box lid, I think this is the van one, so it's different. You see there's two big plugs, one little plug. This has two big plugs, two square plugs. So it might be easier to use the van fuse block. I know it's going to be easier to use it. I'm just debating on using it. But, you know, that's how that one's laid out. And you can see here, this is the front harness for like the headlights and stuff. And this is that, oh, dang, that thing is nasty. This is like the mega fuse, whatever you want to call it, that junctions these. So on a diesel, you have different things. And then if you ever look inside the fuse box, you'll see over here it says G equals gas, D equals diesel. And then every single fuse where there's an asterisk, it could be one or the other. PCM battery, G for gas, but then it's ECM, TCM battery for a diesel. Then going down, like fuel pump gas and diesel, you have a different amperage even on those. But the fuses are all in the same spot. Engine 2 on a gas, spare on a diesel. So like 21 would be up on the top third row. So see, it's not in there. I don't even know if the actual pin is in it. Let's see. Nope. Damn it. So you see that top one there, the pin's not in it. Or one, well, not sure which one's which here. I'd have to use an ohm meter actually, because they don't line up top to bottom. So it may be in there, but you know, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. It looks like it might be in there, but you know, these fuse blocks are made generic for both gas and diesel. So like the gas won't get this, so like this would come off this, and I would throw it on this one over here to go in the Escalade. This fuse box, I have a lid for it somewhere, but it has kind of the same diagram inside. Dang. Has the same diagram inside, and it also gives you the same diesel or gas, I believe, on that one. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. for now. Like I said, start doing the wiring. Hopefully be able to fire this up. I got to get the gas tank out of the other truck. A few other things out of the other truck. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. So hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Leave me a comment. Even if you thumbs down, leave me a comment why you thumbs down. Appreciate it. Have a good day.